Hi, this is May 21st, 2015, and we're here in the home of Isabel and Adil Gruzin, and we, that is Maura Roth Ormley and Jennifer Zunigoff, and myself, Uta Larkey. I will be conducting the third interview with Isabel, which is the post-war period. So, let's begin. I was wondering, so we heard, so I know a little bit about your story and so where you escaped from Lithuania to Latvia and many other places. But now in the third interview, I would like us to focus on the time from the beginning of 1945. So where were you at this time, and where were you liberated, and so what?
I will be delighted. If I can start, I will start right now.
Yes, please.
I must start because before my liberation I was in a concentration camp. Of course, I was in camp number 1. And then we were taken out to a death mass. And I was going with the death mass to Baltimore-area in Germany. And this was my story when it started after the war. When I was going to be the death mass, of course, was still a war going on. We were captured from, the Germans was taking us with dogs, Lutherans. There was a row with dogs and a row with soldiers, and we were going with the rifles. And if somebody stepped out from the line, the dog would bite you, or they shoot you. He just we tried to hold on and go straight to straight. But me and my father brother was in one line, there was 4 in a line, was the other person. We were going and practically sleeping. When we sleeping or walking, you know, we walked from Lager, from Landsberg.
Which lager?
Landsberg, Lager 1.
Lager 1.
From Lager 1 direct to Dachau. Then they gave unterwegs, you know, they didn't want to make to the city, so it was most of the time in the night time. Then we came to Dachau, it was a chaos. There was a lot of trains, and a lot of people were put in trains. And this, but we were maybe lucky, maybe not lucky, survived, thank God. Then me and my father and brother came from Lager 1 to Dachau. This time was very bad to go because I lost my shoes, it was snowing outside. April, I got barefoot. Dachau was a big place, thousands of people was outside, and then they put together groups, and you go in the trains, you go by foot, and we start going by foot. We were choose to go with the death mass.
Towards Dachau?
From Dachau, in Germany.
Yeah.
In Germany, from Germany we were going to Bavatkirchen. Then we were going to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. We go through a little place called Wolfratshausen, and then Gerrit Street, and so that's all the area. We were going with the death mass, and afterwards, when on the death mass, if you ask me a question, I will answer you. We were going till we came to Bavatkirchen. In Bavatkirchen, it was all in April. I was liberated May the 2nd. It was snowing outside. And this was the trip till we were walking there. I can talk hours till we came to this particular point. But it took us in a grave. It was a big, like a valley. They put in maybe 1,000 people. And there was also a man from Lager 1, Mr. Bergman. He was a Sichtenleiter. He was a Jewish man, but he was speaking fluent German. He was a leader a little. When we came out there, they put us in the grave, and we thought we were going to finish, put machine guns. They were ready to get rid of us. And all of a sudden, it started coming a snow. But the snow was so fast. This is maybe 2 foot falling us. And we were sitting in a grave, and I was laying down with my father and brother holding. And we said, smile, so hell, waiting, this is what's happened. And all of a sudden, we fall asleep, looked like I fall asleep too, but the snow, until the snow is warm. And then it start getting light outside, start moving. If one person moved, the other person, a lot of people didn't get out from the grave. But I said, that's my father is alive, my brother, and we took away the snow from the, I see one soldier, he's an old man, a German, walking around with a rifle. Nobody's there. In the Bergman, he, you see from far away, was Bavatkirchen, was a little town, and this, we saw white flags hanging out, towels, whatever it was. And he was a smart man, of course, and he was a leader all the time in the camp. He said, wait a second, it looks like the Germans are gone, you know? And then there was a dead horse, I know she stories with a horse, everybody was running to the dead horse. We started walking in, Bergman said, let's walk to the town. It was not too far away, maybe a quarter of a mile. Not even this.
And the town was called Bad
Bavatkirchen. Bavatkirchen. Bavatkirchen.
Bavatkirchen?
Bavatkirchen, yeah.
Huh.
And they came to this town. It was hanging out flags and all this. And it was not America's, nothing yet. And everybody can go wherever they want. And this town got farms, you know. Every house got a big sack of cows and kids and pigs and all this. And me and my father and brother walked in a place. There was a woman, she didn't say nothing. She said, you can go in the house. We're going in, we lay down on the straw, with the cows, with the chickens, whatever they fall asleep. But my brother was very sick because he was beaten up in the camp. I have stories from him. Like about a kidney and a TB, but he was ready. When it wouldn't be another day, he wouldn't make it, but thanks to the Americans. Then we was there in this place, and all of a sudden I was in May the 2nd, May the 4th was there staying over there. May the 2nd, I hear people, I was still laying under the yard, people making noises. I go out outside, my father stayed with my brother, but he couldn't even move. When I see a tank, you know, with a white star, and I thought it's the Russians, because the Russians were in our country. And it was Russian. People said, we're free, we're free. And I go out, and I see, the first thing I see is, I opened up, before I have to tell you, I gotta tell you this too. When I opened up a tank, when a black man who came out, I see the first time in my life a black man. When there was a white man also there in the tank, they opened up the hood, and they go out. They called us, they start throwing candies and I had a can, grabbed a can with carrots, but I couldn't open it up. The man called the soldier came out from the tank and opened up with a opener. I got a little can opener. I see his carrots, you know. I give my brother, my father, they grabbed it fast, but he kept on saying slow. That's why the first greeting. And then all of a sudden I see a tank came in, a big tank, and two chaplains came in, you know. And this I have to cry. My mother said, Shema Israel. He was a chaplain, you know. He said, oh, what's happened to my people? You know, they saw a lot of people, most of them were Jewish people, but this way from Dachau, when we were going out with the death mass, was a lot of mixed. There's also not Jewish people. Now, the Jewish people are more quiet. The un-Jewish people, they were not with us in the camp, because I was 90% Jewish. I was with a priest in the camp also, I have a story. But this happened is, then when we walked out, we saw this man Shema Israel, and I realized, we are free. And that's what happened is, and then people started, the tank was moving around, the army was going by, and people started greeting him, and they started throwing food, and all that. The food was a disaster, because people were hungry. Some of the people you can see was the sun. I saw one man in my whole life walking around, he didn't have any clothes. I could see the lungs and the way the heart is pumping. A Muslim really was really from a different camp or something. And this was our liberation. Then we stayed over there, and then all of a sudden the Americans came in with the MP, with the soldiers, with all this, and the Red Cross came also. And they started right away checking out. And as soon as they see my brother, they put him away in the side, they get a jeep, you know, they put him in a jeep, and they put him right away to go to the hospital, because he really couldn't make it. He was beaten up like about a kidney in the concentration camp. He didn't know afterwards. But my father said, I want to go with him, you know, because I still was stronger with my brother. Then my father went with my brother in the ambulance. They took him away to a place called Gouting in Germany. Where the big from tuberculosis, you know. And they took him over there. I didn't know exactly where I was, and I was there still. But at the same time, I was in this fair that's called Felderfing. It was, the Americans took it over. It was a place for the soldiers from the Air Force. It was beautiful rooms with the beds, with all this. And of course, for the first time for years, I didn't sleep in a bed. And all of a sudden, I was going to make everybody should go out. And there came doctors, they checked us out, and I told them with my ears. And I still was from the stronger one. And there was no girls. Then all of a sudden from different camps, people come from Russia and something, they got mixed up and made a Kinderlager, they called us. And there was a quarantine all of a sudden. The quarantine was made for a weekend. When the quarantine was open, all of a sudden, the American army came in, and greeted us, and who is there? Eisenhower. Eisenhower, come by. And I didn't even have pictures when I was right after the war. When they came by and he put a hand on my head, he said, I was closer. When he had a speech in English, I didn't understand a word. When he said, never again will happen to you people. But from the American army greeted him with a Torah. He was a chaplain, a lot of this. They greeted him, General, and they pat me over the face. And I remember this like today. And of course he left, was still in the camp. And there was going on for maybe for a week or something. And all of a sudden there was a parade. I'm telling you, right after the war. But the parade was the Americans, the French, and the English. Not the big parade, but we saw the rifles. They were going, but it was the American were first. It was maybe 150 soldiers. Then maybe the French, and then the English. And all of a sudden, when the English brigade army was going by, in the back, I saw a Jewish flag. Forgive me, today, until today, I feel joy, but I can't remember the moment. I said, I can be a Jewish flag. And here I'm going down a hill from Feldafing to go down. Was a highway, there was a beautiful water called Starnberger See. When there was the parade was going on, the water was on one side of this. And the Germans waiting with Enkelsikel waving to the soldiers, And all of a sudden I go down with my model, he got killed in Israel. I tell you the story from the reflect here later on. I walked down with him, I'm going up pajama because I never the clothes, I got a pink pajama, I know it was from a girl or something, but some I was dressed. Und die Germans turned daran, so was gibt doch nicht, die Juden sind da hinten, with the finger, on me and on my friend Motler Beson.
How did they know you were Jews?
Because we're going out from the fair, from Feldafing, that the big camp. We were going down the hill, and I saw the parade, and I saw a Jewish flag with Avner Gilda playing something. Not too many, maybe 20, 30 soldiers. And the Germans couldn't understand this. I can be a Jew, a soldier. To them, I was surprised to see a soldier. In this moment, I felt I got to Israel. I didn't know what happened to my brother, father, because he went away. And this passed by, of course. And that's why I say, without Israel, we're not safe nowhere. Thank God we have Israel. I was always patriotic and still. Then we go down the hill, and I meet the soldiers, didn't greet us, we were marching by. And then we have to go back. We go back to this camp. And in this camp, was all of a sudden they made something like a kinderlager for young children. And I was still a young boy. And then I was in Feldafing maybe about 2 months. And then I was looking certain where was my brother or father. Then I find out that Feldafing to Gauting is not so far away. I want to see my brother and father. Then I had the guards, they told me, you go with the railroad track. And you're going right into this hospital. It's not too far away, maybe 15 kilometers. Then I was walking in the railroad, I see a train is coming, I ran away, I could hear the noise. When I made it to the Gauting, to this place, and I came to the place, the quarantine, they don't let in because it's TB. Then they had to put in a mask. I said, my father is there. And all of a sudden the Americans get involved, a little bit more. And there were Jewish soldiers. And I see my boy crawling around with, I didn't have a uniform, I got with a pajama. And one of them went into the gates and said, look, his father and brother, can you go in to see him? And somebody gave me a mask and they put me in and let me in to see my father and brother. It was a nice room. He was in a bed right away. His foot was hanging on he was 6 years in this hospital. And then I couldn't stay there. Of course, they didn't let me stay to say hi, and I walked away. On the way back, I was going to go back to, then there was like an American soldier, speak a little bit Yiddish. He said, where I'm going? I said, I have to go back to Feldafing. He said, they put me in the jeep and they took me in there, and I didn't have to walk. Well, since then I got in touch with my brother and father, not often, but somehow. And all of a sudden, when Eisenhower left and everything settled down, they said, this group don't belong here. We're from the stronger one. And then there came a couple of girls there from different camps, from where they were. I was never with girls in a camp. And they took from Feldafing to Fehrenwald. On Fehrenwald, I was one of the first boys, but they came in from this camp, from this complex, was from the Air Force. In this Fernwald was a beautiful Siedlung. And there was Siedlung where the people was making ammunition, for rifles and bullets and all this. There was a factory in the neighborhood. We were living there, beautiful. And they kicked all the Germans, didn't kick them out. They liquidated them, take all let them take the furniture and the American bodies and their American beds and all this and tables, whatever. And I was one of the first one in Fernwald. In Fernwald, I was always staying at Andy. I was always, I was a handy, that's why I survived. And I was in Fernwald there and I met friends. There was not too many girls this time. As all the boys, then girls start coming in and from different, people come from other places, from Poland and from Hungary, and some people was running as refugees. And everybody started coming into this Fernwald, it's created a DP camp. And the DP camp was already married people with children, also survivors. And it was turned up to be a big organization. In this Fernwald was a big theater, a movie theater for the Germans, not for us. And this, the joint took it over. The joint took it over, and I was handy. The first thing didn't want to speak, I didn't like you to give me charity. Then all of a sudden, I speak German, and I'm not fluent, of course, and then I learned more and more. Then they put me in the office, and for a little while I was an operator on the telephone. Then I was an operator, putting the buttons, the whole system. I want to say this person or this person. And then and then the Germans still didn't have, the joint took it over on the IS. But then later on, as it get a little more organized, the Germans took over the whole camp. They were in charge. And then I was starting working for the Germans. But working for the Germans, I was working on the telephone. Then they say, you know how to drive? I didn't drive. But they say, I know how to drive. I go in Wolfratshausen, a little town, and I speak to them. I said, I made license. And all of a sudden I start driving a car, and I was working for the Germans. A little bit for the Americans, a little while for the joint. But then the Germans took it over. Then I was driving a bus, in a Volkswagen bus, and I was working for the German government, because it belongs to German. Then this camp settled, and people coming in, and people emigrating. Then I was already a driver for the camp, and there was a hospital. Then I worked for a hospital, driving the ambulance there too, taking from Wolfratshausen to München, to Munich, to the hospital. People get sick. Then I was already a big stars, and here I'm showing up, and I can drive. And a lot of guys was envying me, but I was doing it. And then I was driving the car, and that's why I had a chance, because when I was going with the death mass, I knew that people was falling, dying on the streets. And I know in Wolfratshausen we stopped one time, and we on the street, maybe I mentioned this in my tape, when there was a serpentine to go down, and a young girl, of course not a Jewish girl, she walked by, the Germans walking by, the dogs was going by, we were sitting on the side, because the army have to go by. And I said, gnädige Fräulein, haben Sie vielleicht Stickchen Brot? Maybe you're a nice girl, maybe you have a piece of bread. She bent there and put in the little basket, and it smelled like bread. And instead they give me a piece of bread, she grabbed a stone and she threw me right in the head. And I started bleeding, and when I bleed, they shoot you right on the spot. And my father always said, hold your hands, hold tight, hold tight. It was scarred the skin. When it was all of a sudden get a cross, when the Germans go by, I took off my head, would hold my hand or something. Then I was bleeding, and still I got my little head with I had when I got stuck on this saw. But I was going from this to this Wolfratshausen. Then I was living in this town. Fernwald was in Wolfratshausen, 2 kilometers away. Then I was living in this town. But living in this town, after the war, when I was working with for this, and all of a sudden I have a German car driving with a German flag, and I was German. And I was working, then the Staatsministerium in München, the government, they want to use the buses, because right after the war, they was tight in the gasoline, all this, they made me to go in from the camp to the Staatsministerium, take the Germans, real Nazis maybe, take them to Garmisch, to places to see the camps and all this. Then I was a driver not only for the Jewish place, even for the Germans. And one of them was a man, Mr. Oberländer, a murderer, used to be a Nazi. I didn't know. He was in the same bus when I was driving to Garmisch. One of these Germans was Volksdeutscher, you know. He was not a Nazi, maybe something. When he made a circus, and he said, weißt du, wer der Fahrer ist? You know who the driver is? He's doch ein Jude. Soon he found out it's him a Jew. When we stopped the first stop, he disappeared. He disappeared. We were waiting for him. And the other German said, don't wait for him. He smelled that du bist ein Jude. He knows that you are a Jew. He will not drive with you, because he was really well for the Nazis. He still worked for the government. He disappeared, and I drove away. It was snowing in the mountains and all this. And that's why I started my journey to starting to be independent. But I always want to have a trade. And in this Sverwald, in this DP camp, was a school, was a starting after the war, I started learning. You had a little cabinet shop. When I started working over there, but it's not enough for me, and I want to learn more. And there was 2 kilometers from the town, Wolfratshausen. There was a big place, and I introduced myself. I said, I like woodwork, and I was always handed, thank God for this. In the ghetto, I was making toys and all this. Then they took me in there, and I had to pay something. Because they didn't get for free. But I was going there a couple to the week, 3 times a week or something. And they know me already, they were friendly. When I was learning my trade, and I learned my trade to be a cabinet maker over there. Over the same time, I was driving the ambulance, I was driving the car. And by driving the car sometimes with a Mercedes or something, I have to take dignitary. Then I knew the people were killed. And I have pictures from this. When I walked over one time to a woman, I remember this corner. And I remember a friend of mine, his father died over there. He couldn't do nothing, he had to walk. And I went into the woman in the back, and he said, gnädige Frau, kann sich vielleicht erinnern? You know, viele Menschen waren draußen. Nice lady, can you remember, you know? I see so many people were outside, you know. They were Häftlinge, you know, from the concentration camp. And I can remember so many people died in the street. Would you know where the grave is? Ja, bitte kommen Sie doch zeigen Ihnen. Please come over, I show you where it is. She took me in the backyard. And she saw there was a grave, you know, sewed up, grass, nothing there, you know.
In her own backyard?
In the backyard, and that's what here. Then I was working for the government, and I worked also for the Joint, for the Jews. Then I went to the Jewish church, the IAS, the Joint, and I reported it, and I said there was a grave, and 90% was Jewish people on this dead mass. Then they came and they put in a monument. And 40 Juden sind begraben dort. 40 people, 40 Jews are buried there. And I have a picture of me and my father after the war. I have a picture, even I have it now, the picture in the house. And I made a picture for this, and they put a monument. But then later on, 50 years after the war, I came to Germany. I was supposed to go this month, but I didn't go, I cancelled it. I got free, I was invited, I could have the tickets, I got already the passport, everything ready to go. And the government would pay for it. But Adela my wife, she got sick with her back, and the foot, she couldn't walk, and I said I cancelled it. But I paid ahead of time, and I would get all the money back. And I have a friend who's still in Germany at a hotel, I would stay there with him. And Adela, my wife got a sister still in Munich. Anyway, that's the story. What's happened is, in the war, in the same time, the camp was created, people were coming in, families and girls and boys. And then my wife was in Berlin. From Berlin they went to Lichfeld and the other way, Deggendorf. And then the whole family came. They came, the mother, the rest of the father, and a sister, and my wife. And the 2 brothers remained in Berlin. They passed away
so
also.
Adele came in 1950 to Fernwald, right?
Adele came in close in 1950, and then I met Adele, and I had girls from all sides, you know. I was I think I'm a good boy, but my head was just to learn, and I want to learn, I want to trade and all this. And I met Adele. I was going with a woman, was a neighbor of us, who said she was going to make a tzont, you know, to make Jewish people for Shabbos. They was build a oven there. When I carried them tzont, there was a neighbor, she always gave me and my father to eat. Then I dropped my bicycle, and I took the helped her ticket. She said, this is a girl for you. When Adela walked by, Adela was really a beautiful girl. Beautiful. I have pictures for you, you'll not believe it. She was really
Still beautiful.
Yes, she's a very nice lady. Anyway, when I started, a lot of people, girls and boys, I had a lot of boys, a lot of girls. But I met with Adela and we started talking and all this. We started making a date and go to a movie and all this. And started up about 3 years we were walking around. And the father of his son said, "What's going on here? 3 years. This is not nice." People started talking. You know? I said, "I'm ready." And all of a sudden we decided to get married. But when I worked for the German government, I was involved with a lot of Germans. And I wanted to make a wedding, you know. And my mother was not there. My mother she survived. She went back to Lithuania. Then another woman came to space up here. And I invited, it was maybe 350 or 400 people. 90% was not Jewish, because Jewish people are not a few of them. Most of them for the Germans, when they were involved in the camp. The first thing they see a chuppah aside. And I had a Misugan rabbi a little bit. He was a little bit fanatic. Adela is supposed to go tell her when she had the period, you know, the timing. She came a day later. She didn't know. The Rebbe said, "No, you have to wait another day." I said, "I can wait another day. I already invited people." And we didn't have a catering place or something. He's a woman. My father had friends and people. My mother was not there. And they helped everybody. Palestinian we had plenty of food there after the war. And my father helped a little bit. He was selling stockings for women. He was making a little bit money. And he made a nice wedding, but I invited a lot of Germans when I worked in the Verwaltung. I get maybe 150 Germans. They played music and guitars and sings and all this. All of a sudden they were Jewish too. And anyway, my wedding was outside the chuppah, and the Germans saw the first time in their life it's a real Jewish wedding. But the rabbis came from Ungarn and something. One rabbi gave me a hard time. One rabbi, and I'm telling you the tale because it's a story, but I didn't go to the rabbi at the same time to tell him when my wife is ready to get married. And he said, "No, you can't hold hands, you can't make a picture. It's not kosher. You have to wait another day." But I didn't know, it was a summer, it was Yosel, I remember. And my father was in the army in Lithuania. In Munich was Rabbi, I forgot the name, it's come to my mind. He was with him, my father was a soldier, and he was the rabbi. And he was the
Klausner?
No,
Rabbi
Rabbi Snack.
Ah.
Rabbi Snack, I said that there was my wife's mother was very smart woman. And she said, why can't you make in the chasana? You know what, let them have married, don't let them have old hand, and he will not stay with you this night. He will go somewhere else. And I told him, anyway, Rabbi Snag, I called up Rabbi Snag in Munich because I was driving in a car. And the rabbi said, "Don't worry, I sent my son as Yosel, as his name. He will be there, and you get married, and the first time, don't go home, go to me." And I stayed with the Rabbi Snag, and he was a little blind, but he was a very smart man. He was the rabbi from Munich, because Jewish people, everybody got their own thing. Then I remember after the wedding, I went to Munich, and I was in the car, I could drive for the and then all of a sudden a doctor came in Baltimore, in Fehrenwald in the camp, and he adopted me. He's an American doctor. He was driving an American car, a German car with a convertible, and he said, "I can drive." I said, "American doctors can drive," and the woman was also a doctor, there's a little boy. He sort of like adopted me, before even I know Adela, before I met my wife. And I was going with them, taking them to special Saturdays and Sundays, when I was not working. And I was taking them to Munich, and to operas, and to concerts, and all this, and I stopped. Seeing there's other life, not always where I grew up in a concentration camp. And they were very nice to me. And I remember I had built, I still have picture, and I once, you know, there's no about sitting like this. I cut it off. She said, "It doesn't fit for you." Anyway, I cut it off. I just tell you exactly after the war. And I was driving for them also, this car. And with this car, I was driving. And then I start my story. Then, even before I met Adela, I took this car, and the doctor said to me, "Israel, take your car, take a couple of friends, and go for a Ausflug, you know, for a ride." You know, I took 2 boys from Ungarn, and one of the boys saw his parents killing alive. He was very bitter. And I was not bitter because I found my father survived, my brother is in the hospital, and I found out my mother is alive in Lithuania. I was already blessed. I didn't have the hate, I had hate him. But I remember when we were going with a dead mouse, a woman, I mentioned this in your tape, she walked out outside and she gave milk to the soldiers. I didn't mean nothing. But here I'm taking the car, take the two boys, two girls, they were 15 years old, I was 17, 16, whatever, and we're driving. We're driving on the highway to go from Wolfratshausen to Garmisch. We'll go to the mountains. But driving it, I saw this little place. We were standing outside. We were in the back. When I saw sie written gastet, I said, if I come from limonade, if selling limonade, Wasser, whatever the beer was, then I stopped the car in front of the restaurant, and I go with my friend, both of them. Then I will tell you right from this dating. When I go in, and my friend is very bitter because he lost his parents and all this. So buried alive, you can imagine. He was in the headache, and they take out from Ungarn to make that grave with 40, 50 people, put in lebendig, and they buried them and drove over with a car, back and forth. And he was watching it, and the man was bitter. When here I came into this place, and I knocked on the door, and I walked in, so bitte, come on the place, friendly, it's a little bar with a table over there, and I'm sitting down to get a limonade or something. And the girls coming in too. I was never in the house, there were small steps, in Bayern, and we're sitting like this. When I said to the woman, I recognized her, I said, gnädige Frau, a nice lady, can sich vielleicht erinnern, maybe you can remember. I was outside, I was draußen, I'm saying in English. I remember you give milk to the soldiers, I remember it, and we were thirsty, we were hungry, wet, it was snowing. She said, was liegen Sie denn to me, And my friend said to her, my friend is not a liar, If my friend said, remember, he didn't want nothing for you. And she turned around and said, Hans, komm mal runter. Von the steps now. A gorilla came down, Frankenstein, 7, 8 foot long. And he said, we came this last step. He said, raus mit euch, ihr verfluchte Juden. When he said it, my friend Meyer, he was from Ungarn, and he saw the parents killing alive with his sister. He ran over the counter, he grabbed a bottle, he cracked the ran against the German. The German took the towel and tried to get out the bottle from him. He was going on, zip, zip, zip. When the girls got scared, I said, go to the car. The girls were still there, they running back to the car in the back. And all of a sudden, it was going on like this. I see two men going in, two soldiers going in, one with a cross, looked like a chaplain. The other one got 2 stripes, golden stripes. And this guy with the golden stripe, everybody saluted. And a couple of soldiers came in with them. And they put us on the floor. And I got one that from him. I think he was not an American soldier. He took up the rifles. I talked because I was a talker, I was a dolmetzer. Anything I say, it's the opposite way. I didn't understand English. They speak German and English. Then I got with the rifle, I set in my rib, and I couldn't even breathe. And I was sitting on the floor, and when the man came in with the cross, and then the other one with the 2 stripes, everybody saluted him. All the soldiers and all this. And then this man with the stripes said to me, was denn passiert? And I know he's not talking German, but he's talking like he's Jewish, I said to him, Amcho, because it's an expression. He said, with the head like this, you read Yiddish? I asked him, I speak Yiddish good, He said, yeah, I can read Yiddish, I know how to speak Jewish. When I told him, we came over here peacefully. I remember the woman gave milk to the soldiers. My friend, I told him the story. Well, she said, I'm lying. My friend lost his... And then I told this rabbi, he was a rabbi, the story was happened to my friend. And soon I told the story. Starting right now. A chaplain, a rabbi, and a priest, both of them took out handkerchiefs, soldiers, but they have guns, and wiped their tears. Both of them cried. It stayed with me all my life. I can't get out of this. It's the moment, because in the eyes. Then the chaplain, the rabbi said to him, he talks a little bit German, He said, I come here, he spoke to more Yiddish with German, he couldn't understand. He said, this Junge, this boy is not a liar. And he lost his father, mother, and brothers, and his sister. He said, he's there very bitter. And here comes the German, the husband who comes to the hospital for 50 Juden. He said, this time is over, you know. And then the chaplain with the stripes opened up the door, and I didn't know what was in the bag, because we were in the bag, was empty. It was a base for the American soldiers from the EMP. You know, I got whole army was there. The tents I didn't know in the back. When they opened up and split in English, all of a sudden 10, 15 soldiers coming in with these black bands, and that chaplain said, search the house. You know, and I'm telling you, they went in the basement, I never was in the house. And upstairs they took up machine guns, knives, rifles, a whole army could fight maybe 2 days. When they arrested him, one of my friends, the other friend, Lotzi, said to him, he's a Nazi. We didn't know, you know. And the rabbi, the chaplain said to him, both of them said, take care of this. He took him off the shirt, like gesund, go in a reich. You know, he took him and said, he raised him up the hand, he got SS under the right arm. Right away, they put him the hand on the back. They were military soldiers. And they were taking him out. And this woman said to me, was haben Sie denn gemacht mit meinem Gemahl? Warum ist es sowas? She started saying, what I did to your husband. Why did I talk? I point a finger. First of all, I didn't point a finger at him. I said, second, my friend said it. But I was said it too, because the way he talks to us, now after the war, this time is over. Anyway, they took him out, put him the shirt over the head and took him out. She kept us right. It's my fault they took away your husband. I said, if you wouldn't be a liar, it wouldn't happen. This is my experience right after the war. Then, of course, I came to the camp, to the P camp in Fernwald. I met my wife. I made the wedding. It was a Jewish wedding. There were a lot of Germans there. When I started not being lazy, I always wanted to. At the same time, when I met my wife, I was driving this town. I was working for the DP camp. And I was driving an ambulance, and I was driving the bus. And we were not married this time, but I take my wife for a ride, I go to a movie, to a theater, we were free, and I got a car. And this way I started up until this father came one time and said, look, it's time, there was a lot of boys and girls, I had a lot of girlfriends, boyfriends, and it was a normal life. But I lined up, thank God, with my wife, and met her, and we started going steady, and more and more and more and more, till we got married. The wedding was I had a lot of Germans coming to the wedding, and they were really surprised. When we got married, a couple, but 4 months or something, my wife got pregnant, and my daughter was born. But I didn't want to stay in Germany, and I was offered from the German government, working the camp. It was Mr. Weigand. He said, you can have one of the houses, I will give you a permit, you can buy one, it's paid off. It's a beautiful Siedlung, you know, beautiful place. I didn't want to stay in Germany. My wife, she got her parents, came from Berlin, father and mother, and the sister. But the 2 brothers were staying in Berlin. And she got 2 brothers lost in Stalingrad, because they were on their way, they were killed in the front. Then they were a broken family also. But my wife helped with me, because I didn't want to stay in Germany. I could stay in Germany and have it maybe much better we have it here in the beginning. And now I'm very happy here. But came over here, I made immigration, and I found right away a job, and I worked for a company. And I was always handy, and I learned my trade in a way in Germany. There was a man, Mr. Finkel, he got a lumber yard. And he said to me, make me a cabinet. I said, I have no tools. He said, oh, you have tools. I bought some tools, and I made by hand, and I built my beautiful dining room buffet. He said, with you golden hand, you work for a company? You shouldn't work for them, you should work for yourself. I said, no, I'm not ready, I don't have the money. Anyway, what's happening is this man, this is a true story, this man put me in business. This man had a lumber yard. A train came up from the truck, a big train with lumber, turned over, and he bought the whole train. He was a Jewish man, also, he passed away in Israel. And he said to me, Israel, you work for this company, it was also our people. He said, told your bosses, I have plywood. A plywood for $100, you can sell for $20, because it's used that are the good one, the bad one. You still make money, but it made for nothing, for cheap. I go to my bosses, they were Jewish people, I'm not going to mention the name of that company. When I went into them and I said, look, there's a lumberyard I did work for. I wasn't afraid to tell them I did work a little on the side. They know I'm capable to do it, and I bought some hand tools. I got a few from Germany, but I got from me. Anyway, I make the story short. I built them the cabinet. They said, you shouldn't work for this company. He said, you can make a living. I said, I have no place. He said, I will give you a place in my lumberyard. I will give you a place. I said, I don't want to have a key from a lumberyard. I'm not responsible. I did what is in Baltimore here. I didn't want to take the responsibility. I still work for them. But when he told me about the plywood, I go to the bosses. I told him there's a man. I did work for him in the house, but he's selling plywood. And I told the price. Instead to ask him to call up US plywood and big companies. There is a man of Liberty Roads, whatever it is. You got a lumberyard, he's selling for $20 a plywood, we have to pay $100. You know, you couldn't. When Mr. Finkel came to me, he said to me, Israel, you're not working for him. If you work for him, no friendship between me. He said, when I wouldn't be legal, I would be in trouble, but I would have full train. I still made money, I still do nothing. He said, you're not working for them. When he said, I'm going to make you a place. When he had a lumberyard, a Liberty Road, and a Milford Mill, what I have my business right now. There was a railroad track out there. When he built a room, this size, when I had a black fella work with me, when I said, I'm quitting, because he said, give me the place to work. He said, I work with you. I said, Terrence, I have no place. I have no money, I can pay you. Whatever you make, I make. He was a young fella, but I teach them the work in this place. He worked with me. I was doing welding and all this. I was very handy, thank God. Then he worked with me and I started up and I opened up this little, he gave me, set up the electricity and everything. I bought my own machinery. And I got people, you know, that gave me a job. And there came a man, Mr. Zimmerman. I was living in 11th Street, an apartment. I know him from nowhere. The son is here with the daughter-in-law. He passed away, his mother too, I think. He said to me, I want to have a built-in for, I have beams, a collection from beams. I said, I want you to do for me a built-in. He said, but I don't have a sap, you know. I have no tools, you know, I have nothing. And in this, I had a sap before. Mr. Finkel put me in, but I had a fire from Aleklicken. The old lumberyard burned down, and my sap together with all the tools. I stayed like a knacketer, just with a little truck. You know, and I was standing and watching the fire. Right now I have my sap of the space. I built a building there. There was a building there, really, a little farther out. When I was standing like this, the man walked by and he said to me, he said, looking on your sap is burning down. You are so calm. You know, and I looked at him and I said, you must be crazy. I said, I cried for themselves and I saw people burning alive. Then I said, I saw people alive burning. This can be replaced. And thank God. God was good to me. I was never lazy. And I started little by little when I started working in the basement. And then, of course, when I bought this house, this was a big garage in here. Then I put a couple of machines. I had a friend electrician. I put in the high voltage. And I started working. There's Zimmerman, what I say is, his son is still here, thank God, his family. And he sells, he's a collection from pictures. He's a very intelligent man. They had a printing company, global printing company in Baltimore. And now they sold the company. Now they are all going. When he said to me, I said, a cabinet like this, I designed it, I did everything by hand, nice, computer. And he said, that's what I want. He said, how much is it going to be? I didn't know prices. I said, he was really involved. Over $1,000 or something. This time was a fortune, but there was a lot of work to do. I said, is okay, give me a deposit. Instead to give me a deposit, $50, $100, he paid me in full. I said, I can take a check like this. He said, you will have a shop, you will do when you can. Then what happened is when I bought this house, this was in the same time, this was a big garage in there. Then a friend, he passed away, electrician, and I took it out, put in 220 volt, you know, the watt, put a couple machines, and I made him the built-in in the garage, and I had a little Deswad, black fella, nice guy, passed away. He helped me a little bit, and then I got another guy working with me, and I started a business thing. And now I'm blessed. with one thing, because I had a trade, and the people found out that I'm working in woodwork. Then all of a sudden I was living not near in a place, and a rabbi came in, and he said to me, "You're Gruzin?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I hear you're a cabinet maker." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I remember I was learning in Slobodka Yeshiva, and I remember your father. You know, my father was not so firm, but he was known, Rabbi Rabinovitz, and he belongs to near Israel, to the Yeshiva. And he said, I want you to make a little kodesh for me, you know. And I will never forget, I said, a little one for the children, for the school. I was surprised, I was happy, you know. I will do it. How much is it going to cost? I said, Rabbi, it's a mitzvah, I got a couple of plywood, I will make it. He said, how many children you have? And it was, Adela was there, and my wife, his daughter. That's all I had. And Gina was just maybe 2.5 years old. I said, how many children? I said, I have a daughter, my wife, thank God, and myself, you know. He said, oh, you have to feed her? I said, yeah. You have to pay rent? I said, yeah. He said, you, brother, said to me like this, and I can talk to you. You give me a price. If I can afford it, you will do the job. If I can't afford it, we'll be good friends. He teached me, you know. He said, you have to pay for the work, you have to get paid. Then I made this little thing, I gave him a price, whatever it is. Whatever I said, he accepted, because he felt it, I want to do it.
And so where was that?
Here in Baltimore.
Here in Baltimore.
In Baltimore. And near Israel, the yeshiva is one of the biggest yeshiva in the world, you know, in here. And now what I want to say was I was blessed. And then I did it for him, and of course I got right away paid. Then later on, through the years, I opened my own place and all this. Soon they found out I'm in the business. I got a call from near Israel, and I built the Kodesh and the Bima, and I built so much for the yeshiva. I go still even today. I see young boys, they were learning to be rabbis. Now they're going with beard. Hi, Mr. Gruzin, I know I didn't recognize him. Remember, you did yeshiva. He was Rabbi Ruderman. He was sitting outside, and he was from Lithuania, the rabbi. And the Rabbi Rabinovitz, he was also from Lithuania. And of course, introduced me. You remember the Rebbetzin with the Rabbi Ruder, brother was sitting there, and I was walking on the own kodesh with a house, a big one. That's 10 times bigger than the house, maybe more. So you see, we can arrive maybe 300-400 people there, you know. When I had the honor to build this, and since then I started doing a lot of work for schools. When I did Ner Israel, or I did Chizik Amune, Bet Tefillah, Sarah Zion, Adat Chaim, for small schools, you know, right here in Pikesville, the Reinin School. I did a lot of schools. It's not a lot of money, but the feeling for me is just, you know, I figured, I'm not so religious, I know I'm Jewish, proud what I am, but I'm a mother and Jew like Israelis. But I go around and I meet people sometimes. I live in a neighborhood, and most of them, we can lay down Sabbath on the street and no car. But I drive to shul, I go to Bet Tefillah. I belong to a beautiful shul. I built the beam in Bet Tefillah, everything over there. The lectors and all this, the rabbi is wonderful, Rabbi Wolberg, and the chazan is an Israeli, but he's a wonderful person. I'm with them friends. I then I got sick, I got calls even now. They keep on calling and blessing us. You know, then I'm blessed to do this. And I feel God gave me to be alive and have the schie, you know, like you said, the honor and the pleasure to do something for our people. I do work also for Atzias. For Atzias, I just put that point. A man walked in, a black man, nice dressed, he said, I would like to have a piece of plywood. It turned out to be a man's. A little piece this way, 4 foot, 2 foot by 1 foot. I go in the back and I give it to him. He said, no, I have to pay for this. So I'm selling plywood, it's a piece of scrap. I'm going to throw it out anyway, but I don't feel bad. It's a good stick, we can still use it. But I have no use for this. I want to pay for this. He said, no. Okay, he said, okay, thank you. He walked away. 2 days later, I got a call. A man called me up and said, Mr. Gruzin, would you like to come to the Baptist Church on Doodle Avenue years ago? I said, who recommended me? I said, you recommend me. I recommend you. I said to him, I don't know him, you know. He said, I'm the man. I came to your house when you give me the piece of plywood. And I want you to do work for the church. I told you, he worked maybe for 3, 4 months in the chairs. Reverend Dobson, I think he passed away. He invited me, Adela was with me there in the chairs, and I was talking sometimes with him. I told him a couple of stories, but the story I have to tell you too fast. But he just was a wonderful person. I got paid, I built a office over there, I built conference rooms, tables. I did so much work. I had a cafeteria there. We worked a long time for them. And they paid whatever the price was. I didn't overcharge him. I never overcharged him. I undercharged because I want to make, so long I get my profit by 10% or something. I don't have big eyes because I know what life is. You know, you live or let live. A lot of people have business or something. They have a sense they grab you and they won't take it out. But I'm not like this. Even my son right now took over, my younger son, is running the business. I wish I would get. So he's a wonderful man. He's so handy. This I really fall behind him. He's on the computer. And he's making the pictures on the computer. And as I used to do by hand. It takes a long time. He did it with the computer. And he's doing very well, but he's giving away the work because he's really not charging enough. It's hand work. He got a couple of guys working with him. That's what happened. The business is still going on my name, but he took it over. I came in sometime, but I'm already falling behind because he's ahead of time because I don't know too much of the computer, a little bit with one finger punching. But he's going in and punching and not even look at me. And just the pictures are coming out. It's very handy, very good looking. But I said, Kenny, he's around 40-something years old. I said, just get married. Beautiful boy. He's 6 foot something. My older son was also in business, but he quit on me because he can't work on this because there's no money. They start selling ready-made kitchen, but he got a bad divorce, and since then it was going down. He had trouble with the ankle, with the foot, and then it esophagus problem. Now he was yesterday, took him from the hospital, had hernia, 2 hernias yesterday. He's nothing to say, but thank God for this. Then I have a daughter. My daughter went through a little problem right now, but she's doing very well now. She had breast cancer for hours. But thank God she gets in the right time. It's a miracle, you know. So the doctor and they found out, they said, you better do it now, we wait. But she's doing fine, she's okay. Then I have nachas for the kinder, I have 2 Einiklach. One of them got a lawyer, you know, one of them is already a lawyer. And the other one is a short fellow, he finished up in Colombia. And he's so learned in the Hebrew language that the teachers asking him how to spell. And now he's working for an organization in New York, for a charity, a Christian organization. But he's a very good boy. In shul sometimes, he doesn't. So the rabbi is taking over the shul. A little one, you know, that's a short fellow, but smart. But his language is unbelievable, you know. It's going to be a
And that's why I think really you left your legacy in Baltimore already with all the things you did.
Yeah, and now what I want to say is Baltimore is really, in a way, I like this country. I came into Baltimore because of my father had a brother here. And my father couldn't come because he didn't believe my brother was sick. My mother was still in Lithuania. Then I came, and the guys came with my wife, with my daughter. My wife left her parents in Germany with 2 brothers and a sister. I don't know, they killed in Stalingrad or somewhere. And we made that journey here. And my wife was understandable because I didn't want to stay in Germany. And she realized maybe it would be better for us to be in the United States. I came to the United States and like I say, step by step, I built myself a reputation. And then I can't only turn on for me. Now, most of the survivors, some of them passed away, my friends. I had 3, 4 friends that I grew up with them. One was at Texas, here in Baltimore, our cab company. He was successful. He was very wealthy. The other one was in Silver Spring. He had a factory for remodeling refrigerations. And the other one was a scientist in Cincinnati. They all my age, younger a little bit, maybe older, and they're all gone. And I'm still thank God here, and I can talk about it. That's why I feel it's a duty to tell you. And any questions you like to ask me, I will be delighted. But like I say, I accomplished. This man also from the lumberyard mentioned to me, I always drive a nice car. When I came over, I didn't want to buy a foreign car for $1 million. But this one I always drove a Volkswagen, not a Volkswagen, in the beginning, then I stopped. Then I got right away a Ford, and then I got other cars, and then I was driving a Lincoln. I had 13 years a Lincoln. It was a beautiful car, but it was long, and it's long as to say, it drives like a tank and all this. Then I lined up, and I got another dealership. The man from the dealership is a Jewish guy. He said, "You're not buying from the Japanese, you're buying it from me." He took me and I bought this car. With this car I was driving, and I want to be a nice guy, and I want to say hi to the salesman. And my wife had trouble with his foot before she got the surgery. I want to drive in, I started driving to the parking. I drove in the car, I slipped from my foot or whatever it is. I drive right in the wall, same car like this, but a different color, and I messed up the car completely.
Was it a Toyota?
No, there was that's a Lexus. The car is totaled. Of course, I got 18 on the payment, $20,000 for the car. The rest of them is my own, but I had insurance for this. It somehow then lined up to be driving again the Lexus. I feel in a way guilty because I don't want to drive a foreign car, but the guy is a Jewish man, Stan Laws. I know him from friends to friends, you know. And I figured I buy a car and I can drive a nice car. The thing that I'm not complaining, making a living, the house, 90% I did everything in the house, all the furniture. But getting younger, you're thinking, well, what's to do with a house like this? You have to move. Then this is my story in Baltimore. But I was very pleased. What I was going to say, my uncle was, my father had 3 brothers, basically. And one of them came in the United States before, in 19 after the First World War. We settled in here. That's why I have a lot of pictures. When I was a child, my father used to send the pictures to them because we have nothing. Then I have pictures when I was with my mother and father. When I was 4 years old, I have a picture from this. I would never have a picture, but I was going. When I want to come to the United States, and that's why my uncle, his 2 sons are here. One was also in the concentration camp with me, but one was going back to looking for his mother. Her mother was killed in Stuttgart. My mother survived. They were going to look for her mother. He got arrested. He was 10 years in prison because they said he worked for the Germans, the Russians.
Ah.
And then, of course, he came as cousin. It's my cousin. The other brother took him out. He's here. And the other cousin is here too. I have 2 cousins in here. And I'm happy. I think that I'm in the United States. And I tell you, every person should feel comfortable to be in the United States because whatever it is, it's the best country in the world. This is my story from Baltimore. That's why I made a success. I'm not a rich man. I'm not poor. Make a living, and I don't want too much. I'm pleased to see a lot of people want to grab. You don't have enough. They want to have this and they want this. I'm happy what I have. I go in a restaurant. It's okay. I don't have to. I go sometimes in nice places too. But if I go out and have a hamburger, it's okay too with me. It's not. I'm not a mixer.
Right.
You know, some people just like to show off. And I have friends who passed away already. They were very wealthy. A lot of people that I know from newcomers, nobody came out to be a murderer, a crook or something. Most of them are decent. Most of them see life a different way. Most of this from other people like I am want to make a decent living, an honest living. I can talk for everybody. I don't know everybody.
Right.
But the people that I know, my friends, all of them are, some of them not here, some of them think at here still.
Now, Israel, I do have a few questions when I think about you as a 17-year-old right after the war. So, of course, at the beginning, you had your brother and your father to look after, and they were there. And but then, after maybe 2 or 3 years, what made you still remain in Germany? Why did you not pursue going to Palestine or going to the US where you had an uncle?
I will gladly give you the answer. I want to go to Palestine, to Israel, more than anybody else, because when I saw the Haganah, the Jewish brigade, I saw the Jewish flag, it touched me. I want to go to Israel. But my brother was in a sanatorium, 6 years,
6 years.
very sick. My mother, I didn't know in the beginning where she to the Red Cross we found out. My mother was in Lithuania, you know, and the whole family was broken apart, and I couldn't have the heart to leave my father and brother and go to Israel, because I want to go to Israel. But one of my friends, Motla Bisolom, he went to Israel, and he was a Onyx Shabbat, you know, when he was on duty. And this was the father told me, this is a monument in Israel. And I have pictures from him, I have a picture in here. He was going down, he walked over to me and he said, I'm going to Israel. I said, why are you going to Israel? It was not Israel this time. What happened was, we were going on the street, if I mentioned this, three German boys were going, and we were going to this place in Wolfratshausen to the movies. Me and the other 2 boys. Well, this model was with me too. We were going on the street. Used to be a time that you have to go on the street, not on the street. We were going on the pavement, you know, we were facing each other. And I said, we're not going to go up for them, let them go for us. You know, right? You're dressed nice with normal people after the war. Then they came close to each other like so far where the cabin is. One of the, if we coming close, we didn't want to go down for them. They moved away and they said, you there the Jews or something in Germany, verfluchter Hund or something. And we started turning around and we started chasing him. In this little town where I was living, Wolfratshausen. But we were after a war, we were not so strong. They could run faster for us. They ran away maybe too far away, we couldn't catch them because we were going to fight with them. But they ran away, and their mortal, one of the friend, a couple of days, 3-4 weeks later, it was not even a story from Israel, but Ben Gurion came to the peak camp, and I had the honor. Again, I had a sex with him, and I have a story what he said, and I have to tell you this every time. But anyway, they running away, when he came over to me, the model, and he said, we spoke a little from Sul, you know. I was not, he was from a different state, he was not from Lithuania, from somewhere, from the Russian area. He said to me, I'll see you later, in Hebrew. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Cyprus. I said, where are you going to Cyprus? I'm going to Palestine. He went to Palestine, he went to a kibbutz, and they attacked the kibbutz. What was happening, he was a machsad, he was on duty, and he had hand grenades on his body, you know, on a rifle. He was in the kibbutz, and it was a Onyx Shabbat, and the boys and girls, they were dancing around. It was not even Israel existing. Then they had a Panzerwagen, the Arabs, and they were pushing it without motor, not motor, they were pushing the wagon by hand. One was steering quiet, they want to attack this kibbutz. And he saw it, he was with a rifle. And they saw him. They couldn't shoot because he was there, what was here. Then what he did, instead to do anything, he threw himself onto the wagon. And they drove him over. He got killed, and meanwhile, when they got killed, the hand grenades and everything exploded. In the kibbutz, he saved the whole kibbutz. He's dead. Then he saved maybe 100 or something people. But there's a monument in Israel for them. And his father, let him rest in peace, father also going, Mr. Glazer, he came to me and said, "Weißt du, Schrolik?" You know, he introduced me, said, "Motke is dead." You know, he told, I didn't know. He told me the story of what's happened to Motke. I have a picture from him. Then that's what's happened. That's why I didn't want to go. I want to go with my whole heart. But after the war, that I was 2 times about Israel years ago. Now Israel is completely changed. We were in Bar Mitzvah. My wife's son was Bar Mitzvah in Israel. We went there to the Bar Mitzvah. And I traveled a few times in Israel, but I tell you one thing. I'm very patriotic for Israel. And I'm not a rich man, whatever I can. This is an Israeli band. Our school made a lot of money, Bet Tefillah. And our rabbi is very, very much for Israel, thank God. Undercounter too. And they collect a lot of money from a lot of people. I give whatever I can, but I have to give. I would feel guilty not to give something, to buy a band. They get paid anyway. But I tell everybody, if we are Jewish, thank God we are Israel. The respect is different. The see us different. They're not like we used to be a lamb. You are lambs. I remember we going to the ghetto, throwing my father threw over a coat for my mother for piece of bread. Some people get a piece of bread and some people get a dead cat. Or a Mars, or a rat. That is Italian. They were taking advantage of this. It's Viva Lucky, my father grabbed for the coat a little bit of piece of butter was worth maybe $10. For a coat was worth hundreds of dollars. Anyway, that's what's happened is I had experience plenty from the Germans, but the experience that I have from the Germans, I never, where I was, I thought I see a good German, but I think I mentioned with the tape. I was going in the camp in Germany. I was lucky in a way, because I was speaking the language, maybe not fluent, or later I spoke better and better and better. And I was working for Obersturmbannführer, was a Nazi. He saved my life in a way. I was a sculptor in a Schloss, and I was making a face for Hitler. And he told me to go in take a bottle and get some water. I thought that was a drum, and this was a Ukraine, I think I mentioned to you. He beat up my mother. Anyway, I had a bad eye on him. But when I pushed my hand to the barrel, then of course I was bleeding. Then I kicked him, he fell in the basement. Then of course all the prostitutes and the Germans ran out, and one took the rifle. He was going to shoot me. Take a second. But the Obersturmbannführer, a really bad Nazi, he was talking to Hitler, talking like this with the hand out, and with one hand on the telephone, and I hear he's talking to the Führer. But I was not too far away, mixing the clay. Then he was a big man, but he saw through the window what's happened with the bottle.
Was this in Lager 1? Or?
No, this was in the ghetto. We were deported from the ghetto in a Schloss, in a castle. We were working there. In this castle was no water, was wells. Then I filled up the bottle, I washed the bottle, and I just put the bottle on the ground, and I was going to drip the water on this. Ukraine put me into this. Is this Obersturmbannführer ran out and said, "Halt, mach nichts!" Because he had a rifle on me, and I would be shooting me like a dog, it would be nothing. You know, when he stopped, he saw he's coming out, he saluted to me, put away the rifle right away. He said, "Warum willst du ihn schießen? How come you want to kill him?" He said, "You know what he did?" He just kicked a future soldier, he was in the civil this time, in Ukraine, in the basement. He said, "Ich habe alles gesehen. Du machst nichts. Lass ihn doch laufen. You don't do nothing to him. Let him run." You know, and he took away, he put away the rifle from him, and he apologized and saluted him. This Nazi saved my life. And I can use life, maybe it's meant to be like this. And I saw a lot of incidents like this. I could be killed not one time. I was in the prayer, I mentioned to this, but I have in the camp came in a priest. I didn't know it was a priest, a young man, but he had a cross. It was a little one, a mahogany with Jesus, with golden chain. But I was hiding this. I made a hole in the ground. And I put straw over this. And the Bergman, I mentioned that he was a leader there. I did the cross. The cross was there. Was day shift, night shift. I was sleeping with this. I didn't give a. It didn't bother me at all. It's not my belief. I respected him. But one day, it was a Sunday, the shifts have the sweets. This priest put on the cross. We're going to have a mass for this in the bars. It was not legal for the Christian people, a few, not too many. Most of them were Jews. And then sometimes it was like a rabbi preaching to me. He was talking about Bible. I didn't know the Bible much more than I did. I was a young boy, but he tried to explain to me this Christianity is from Judaism. And right now, of course, I know what's going on. But this time, to me, was everything new. Then he walked out to go to the toilet. There was a big piece of wood. There was people was going outside to make the business. And the soldiers heard him killing. They said, "Bleib stehen, halt, stehen bleiben." He stopped, you know, and they opened up the gates. They could go in, they couldn't go out. And the shouts, they found them like the cross. They grabbed him in the headquarters, they beat him up. All of a sudden, alarm came on. Alle antreten, day shift, night shift in German, to loudspeakers. And put out a table outside and said, "I'm going to show you, Jews, you don't ever got all together." This was the first thing. This was the good morning. I will show you what Jesus will do for you. They put the poor priest on the chair. Excuse me, I'm getting nervous. Put him on a chair, and everybody have to go by, sort of like spit on him. And when I go by, he was still alive. He saw me, but they were. On the second time, one of the Germans to sit him on the chair, took this little cross, opened up the mouth, put him in the mouth and turned so long till when it was April, it was snowing outside. And with a bunch of blood coming out, and the snow, it was so scary. And everybody had to go by. When I saw this, I said, the Jewish people thought we'll never survive. The Jews are going like this, a Christ like this. He's also a human being. Even a Gläubiger, I respect them, I don't care what they are. Everybody got a right to believe in something. So long you believe in something, it's good. Nothing wrong with it. When they got killed, and then they pulled them away. When I saw things like this, I thought I would never survive. And one time, I also had the experience, a German, I was in the camps, I was lucky. Was ein Obersturmbandführer, came from Auschwitz und he said, wer spricht Deutsch? I speak Deutsch. My father, I was working with a Baustelle, with a bunker. This German said, come with me. He said, come with him, a big ring, a big Obersturmbandführer. I go with him, meanwhile I was working with my father and brother. And the Meister was good to my father and brother and to me, because we're doing the work. He said to me, from now on, you're going to make fire for me, make sure I'm warm, and you, I thought it was one job. I said, no, you're doing for all the barracks, for the soldiers, for the warm up in wintertime. When I got a job, I could go around free with a bag, them in coals, and walk around and fill up with coals was far away, and then go back and put in the jeden home, have maybe 10 little booths for the soldiers. And sometimes they were throwing, one was peeling a pear, something, I picked it up and I had always had something in my pocket. But at the same time, for this German I have to tell you, but at the same time, one of the Germans walked over to me, a plane from the Wehrmacht. And he said to me, ach du Kleine, das hast du von meinem Bruderhaus. Hey, you small one, you look like my brother. I look like a brother, he's blonde, black eyes, a beautiful looking man with the uniform, the Germans. Really, I not fall in love with a man, but he was so nice looking. I said, I look like your brother, and I spoke this time German better, but I spoke right now, I forgot. I said to him, I have the schwarze eye, I have black hair. Anyway, he said, anytime when I have duty, I'm going to put a little butterbrot in this corner there, our service, where little trees. A little tree was there, because we were making a airport, building a bunker, because everything was cleaned up. But there was still a little tree there. And I thought he's laughing. I told my father this time I was together with him and my brother. I said, it's all you try, what can you do? If he's not coming, he might be worse. One time I go in, I see a piece of paper, and I opened up with a piece of bread with cheese. Oh, I got crazy. I was hungry. I put in the pocket, and I never had a heart to eat myself. I always said, I believe in from the school, kibud avim, respect for your parents. I always feel this way. Even if I was hungry, I could never bite without my father and brother to split. But a couple times happened, not one time, 2 times, 3 times. But one time was a raid. And I was going with a bag, and everybody knew me. There's all the soldiers, nobody bothered me, because this was my job. And I was going, it was soldiers all around anyway, for miles. Couldn't run away. But I was going free without a soldier. And I always go by, see where my father works, for my brother. And I saw when my brother got beaten up, knocked him out a kidney this time. But anyway, I was walking like this, and nobody bothered, and I was, but one day, he walked over to me and he said, like I said, I picked the butterbrot, and one time, 2 times. One time, I walked by, and he was not there. I said, when I put it, I walked away. Then I go back to the bag, I see, I put it away, I put it in the pocket, I gave it back to my father. Then, I didn't see him for a little while. Then I was going by, and I was going to see something laying there, and I bent in. When I stepped, what's happened is, the reason why I didn't see him, he was a raid outside, and this German, the good German, the nice-looking man, and there was still woods in some places, didn't cut it out. It was raining outside. And everybody had to go in and hide from the alarm. It was a Luftalarm, a raid. And the airplane was 2 miles in the air, and throwing aluminum foil. When I was in the area, I go in the wood too. I see his duty there, standing there with a rifle, and they got pistols. And all of a sudden there was the Jews and non-Jews in this group. And a man was crawling up, I swear to you, from this to the steps. He was crawling. Und he took out the pestle, this good German, was he gave me the butterbrot. Und he said, und he shoot him. Und the head came off, a dum-dum head. And then, everybody was bloody. There was no head, the body fall down. Then I saw it, and I didn't say nothing. All of a sudden, the rate is over, and everybody go away. What's happened to this dead person? I didn't know. A couple of days later, I was afraid to go. I told my father, I said, you don't start up with him. You don't know nothing. I go in to get a butterbrot. I stick out my hand at the little tree. I bootstepped him. He raised up the hand. I saw it's him. And he said, and he called me Achte Kleiner. Achte Kleiner, bist du mir bezig? Hey, you little one, are you mad on me? I said, well, in German, I said, warum soll ich denn bezig sein? Why should I be mad on you? He said, this swine, you know, points with the finger on the area where he was. He could kill us all. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say why, what. I said, you know, he was walking. The airplane could see him, could drop a bomb, he could kill us all. The airplane was raining outside. It was 2 kilometers in the air. There was no airplane. What you can hear is this zzz, zzz. But getting a lot of airplanes to bomb Leipzig and Berlin or Dresden. I know where they're flying. You know, since then I felt when I came over, my daughter was to college going here, and whatever it is, they asked me some questions. What do you think about the Germans now? I have no right to accuse all the Germans. There are some good people, some too. But I say, wherever I was, I never saw a good one. This is the good one, they gave me a Peterbrot. And there were the other good ones, I told you when I got the calls. Our Obersturm Bandführer came, he came from Auschwitz. Not for the Jews, just for the soldiers, using God. When he said to me, I should take his bucket, you know, and clean it, and I should cook him Roggensuppe. You know? I know Roggensuppe, but I speak a little bit German, Latin, you know, I could say Roggensuppe, you know. I go outside, there was a broken train there, and sand. I take the sand and I clean this bucket, you know, and made it like a mirror, and I wash it out with water, and I brought in the water with the bucket. Wie hast du es sauber gemacht? How come you made it so clean? I told him, ach, du bist schlau. I'm smart, you know. He said, Meister, sagt das, Meister, ich will das Wasser nutzen. You think I'm going to drink this water? You might have poison there. Pulled out the water, took this home bottle, he got a bottle of water, put it in, and I made the Roggensuppe. I cooked the Roggensuppe and I had a little bucket. And the Roggensuppe cooked like a cereal. He said, where's the baklaske, the bucket? I had a spoon, always, not to God forbid with my spoon. He took this bucket, he took it off, he took the spoon, his spoon, and he filled it up in my bucket, and he said, fress doch. You know, eat like the animal, you don't fress. You know, eat like that. When I took it, it was hot. I still have blue leaves from this. And I took it to my mouth, I almost burnt my tongue, but it was so tasty. He said, raus mit dir, du Kleiner. He said, Meister, ich fress, wenn du dabei bist. You think I'm going to eat when you right close with me? Aus! You know, kicked me out. But he liked the way I cleaned his bucket, you know. And since then, it didn't bother me too much. One day I come to make the fire. You know, I make the fire, I was making, this was in the wartime. You know the story, so maybe hear this. I made the fire, it's not a true story. Anyway, to make the story short, he said to me, setz dich mal hin. I said to him, he said, you know, Victor, if you would be where I was, you wouldn't be alive. That's what they get warning to me. Why is it? In German, of course. I was trying to take in English because I was trying to German. He said to me, setz dich mal hin. I sit down. He said, he took that bunch of streichels of messes, you know, put it up, and he said, I was slow. I was in Auschwitz. And I was a big man there, because I'm still a big man. One of the titles, the Germans, they're funny. He said, I didn't burn the Leiches are dead people. He said, I put in 10 or 15 in one bottle, I put around wood, and I took the mess and I put it on, and zip, in 5 minutes, everything is going. He's telling you, putting the crematoriums to walk like dogs. And I didn't know too much about Auschwitz. Coming from a man like this, you know, he was proud. He had to talk to somebody, talk to me what he did in Auschwitz. Well, this man was really you know, because I went working for him. The Meister beat up my father and brother because the Meister said, my father told me to go to work for him. I was not shy. When I said over Bandstufe. I told him, I said, ich schlage meinen Vater, weil glaubte, dass my father told him not to work for him or something. My father told me to work for him. That he beat up my father. He called in a walkie-talkie, brought in the Meister. Und ich sagte zu dem Meister, was beat up my father, I said, warum hast du den Mann geschlagen? You know? A murderer. He's looking out for me. He said, oh, der hat mich gehabt und was meinst du, sagt er zu mir? Ich hab's zu bestimmen, nicht du, du Schwein, du. You made him like, not like it be a dog, you know? He said, when I say something, that's what's comes. What you say something is nothing. It's nur ein Meister. He said, der Mann, der Junge arbeitet von mir und ich habe ihn gerufen, dem Jungen, nicht der Vater. Und das ist kein rechtsgeschlagener Vater. Mein Vater hat gewählt unschuldig. Mein Vater hat bitten ab von den Serben, was sind denn, die put a finger on him. Here I got again a miracle, an assessment, looked out for my father, a murderer. Because the title, they was so much, they have the power. He was hurling because a master could tell him not to, he shouldn't work for him, you know. He told that, my father said me not to work for the master, for him, not to work for the assessment or for the master. There are such things. But this one was also a murderer.
But so given all these experiences that you had with the Germans during the war and then right after the war, once I think Fernwald was given over to the German administration, then you worked for the German government.
Correct.
How did you reconcile that with yourself?
I felt that I couldn't accuse, and I still feel the same way. Even when I suffered so much for the Germans, there must be good people too. But where I was, that's what I point all the time out. Even I talked to a school, I just spoke for 500 girls in Beis Jakob in the school. The white men, the rabbi white men, I talked to stories like this. I have no right to accuse everybody because I was not all around Germany. There's good people everywhere. But where I was, I never saw a good one. I never saw a good German because that's why I suffered. If I'd be a good German, I would have a different attitude of them. But being after the war in Germany, the Germans are very two-sided. You know, you come from Europe, you know, Germans are very friendly, but in one side he can laugh, on the other side he put you a knife. And after the war even, when I was driving the ambulance and working for the German government, I saw what they do to the German soldiers. It was on Sendlinger Terrorplatz, it was a prostitute street, you know, from prostitutes. And I remember, I couldn't say that, not want to mix in, it's not my business. The soldiers was going around, American soldiers, 5 will go in and 4 will come out. They always kill somebody, it was under the table, they didn't want to make nothing noises because the prostitutes was taking some of the soldiers in the backyard or something, or the other one stabbed them or something. It was black soldiers or white soldiers, what was going on after the war. Then it settled a little bit. But right after the war was a lot of American soldiers, or black or white. I have nothing against the black because I was liberated from the black in the soldier. But the good people and bad people here too. Is what I saw in Germany, what they did to the Americans. I didn't believe it, but sometimes I opened up my mouth and somebody told me, you want to be around? It's not of your business. Because I was going to go to the consulate and mention it. I saw it myself. I got 5 people going in, soldiers and 4 going out, and the other one is, the other soldiers thinking he stayed with the girl or something. He never, I'm sure he never came out. You know, this was going on a lot after the war. Later on, I don't know. What I saw, things like this, is, but I still believe there are good people and bad people everywhere. You know, and especially this was so Bandführer from Auschwitz. A man got crazy, and I mentioned to you by the train. You know, he said he worked in a broken train, he was not too far away from this. He said, with a big bucket, he said, grab doch this, fill with water, and I said, cook water. I cooked water, and it was heavy. And he said, I don't know what he's doing. He was telling I was making fire for the oven. I took off my whatever I have, and blow it like in a train. The water was cooking. A man got crazy in a broken train. He's going to Budapest. driving to see his wife and children. And speak German, of course. Und one of the soldiers sagt, wir fasten, ja, ich faste für eine Frau und Kinder. Ich gehe nach Budapest. Ach, du gehst nach Budapest. He came into the Oberstone band for told the stories. I said, I help him. He's made me to put the water, and I don't know what for the water is. And it's heavy. It was cold water, it was not so bad. But his bucket was hot. He said to me, to Aslo, excuse me, it was not a nice expression. You know, nimm doch runter. It's heiß, you know. Hast du kein Tuch? Ich habe something, regen, something. I left nothing. He found something. Then he opened up the door, called two soldiers in. He said they should take off the bucket and should go out with him. The two soldiers walking out with the bucket, with the water to the train. And he's going out, and I have to take orders. I know, if you don't, a puppet, he can shoot you. I told him I have to go in the back of him. The soldiers going with 2 buckets of water. He's walking in the front, in the back of the bucket, and I go in back of him. He walked over to this train, and I said to him, Ach, mein Junge, wo fasten du? Hey, my boy, where are you going? And the man said, in German, of course, he said, ich gehe zu meiner Frau und Kinder. I thought, if you're going to his wife and children, he's driving, it's crazy. He said, ach, fahr doch noch schneller, ich help dir. You know, drive faster, I'm going to help you. And he put the bucket, the two soldiers put the bucket on the ground, and he talked to him like I would talk to you, nicely, calmed him down. And I said, fahr doch noch schneller, fahr doch noch schneller. He picked up, gesund, like a lion, picked up the bucket like this, and put him right over the head, you know, with hot boiling water. And he got a little pajama, nothing. He skinned him, the clothes came down. And the man really, he got crazy. He ran out for the skin was coming down. He was skinning him anyway. He was running. And one of them said to the soldiers, Assisten doch. Assisten is doch too good. Killing it is too good. He let him run, the man collapsed, you know, he couldn't run too far. And he pulled him away. What's happening is, when he started laughing, he said, du hast doch a good far. Have a nice trip. When I saw this from the German, from the Nazi, when I made him the Rogensuppe, then I was really, next time I was afraid to go in, but he didn't talk about it, and I didn't say about it. Even, that's why I say, wherever I was, with who I was involved, I never say a good one. But there was good people too. But now, I got to Germany, when my wife's parents was living there, I was traveling there to see my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and the brothers, but they all gone. She got a sister, thank God, in Munich, but one is a big lawyer, got 45 people working for him. One is a doctor in Berlin, got a big office. His wife is Jewish too, but she's also a doctor. And the other one, the lawyer, I think she's not completely, it's not different. It's a nice human being, he's a human being. Became Jewish, not Jewish. To me, you have to be a human being. Religion in a way is a business. I believe what I am. I'm not planning to change. But I respect somebody else too, because when I was with the priest, the same thing, he was killed like anybody, when he was suffering like I did, then it's not different. I let it go. It was happening, all this thing stayed with me, and you just can, when people like these 2 young ladies here involved, I talk about it, when I have tears in my eyes, but it's released me. I feel better. When I get it out, I said, I'm not, and that's why when I have a lot of tapes that I made for public television and for the other stories. I have stories, but I'm telling the same thing I tell you, but I'd like to have this one, but you made for me. I would appreciate when they have all 3 tapes or something. And to me, it's like you have a dictionary, you know.
Well, we very much appreciate it.
No, I do it not for fun, not for publicity, just to cure myself. It's helped me by talking about it, because it's sometime in the night time, even I'm not a youngster anymore, thank God, and God gave me years to live and to have the success, but not that I'm making rich, I'm not a rich man, I make a nice living, but to building things for Jewish particularly, even for Christian people, it made me feel good, you know, made me feel I have a purpose. Everybody needs in life a purpose. These 2 ladies and yourself have a purpose too. You're doing something, but maybe in the future will be written about it, will be talked about it, because we all want to live something. I don't want to live to be I'm Einstein or something, but it's very important. But I was talking about Ben Gurion. when you come in this TP camp in Fairwald, and he had a talk to the young people, and this time I really want to go to Israel. Israel was not existing. It was in 1947, beginning 47 or something. When I sagt with him, everybody sagt with him, I was that special. He was without a yarmulke, gray hair, long hair, well, near the drosse, they call it, a spitz. When he said, why come people don't like Jewish people? He said, and he wanted the Jewish children to go with all the young boys. Most of them were young children. He should go to Israel. He said there was a prince. The prince put out a sign, and he said he will give away half of his land if somebody will tell him why Jewish people is disliked. Everybody don't like the Jews. He said there was a line from thousands of goyim. Everybody said, a Jew is a crook, not Jew is this, not Jew is this. All machlekes, all bad things about Jews. In the same line, a Jewish man, Moshe, in the same line, walked over to this prince. The prince knew him. He said, Moshe, what do you want here? You are a Jew. I want to hear, and the non-Jewish people. He said, oh, God forbid, I'm going to say a bad word on a Jew? I wouldn't say this. He said, why are you coming here? He said, I want you to do me a favor, Prince. See, I'm here 25 years in this little town, when I'm selling cucumbers. Came another Jew, the second street, opened up a store, when is he going to sell cucumbers? He said, what do you want me to do? He said, don't let him open up the business. He said, you don't have to worry, Moise. You got half of my land. You're rich already. I said, this is nothing against the Jew. He said, what do you expect? If you don't like your own brother, I should like you? They told us to the Jews, to us, to the children, we were boys. He said, we have to like each other, we have to go to Israel. This was his story. In that story is State Albers near Ben Gurion. He gave the example that we have to like each other. But some people put fingers on each other too. Oh, this is rich and this is smart. He's a good doctor, he's a bad lawyer. So we have our ways too. But thank God we're Jewish people, most of the people are intelligent. People are jealous of Jewish people. Because I remember when I was working, I had a couple, I have a guy who used to work for me and he was working for my son. He tried to convince me that he's right. I said, look, Mari, you believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. If you want to be as a chance, you can wait. You can wait, you go to heaven first. Then I have a guy, he passed away, Mr. McCall, he made the air conditioning in the house. He came in and he turned up a little church for himself. And he tried to bring me a Tanakh, and a very nice, intelligent person. He tried to talk to me. I said, John, I will be your friend. We were good friends. He passed away. But I'm not changing. You can talk to the wall. I am what I am, you what you are. Since then, he never said a word. In the opposite way. He know more about the Bible, but our Bible I do. Because he was an intelligent person. But he never talks to me. And he invited me one time to go in downtown in Baltimore. It was a nun came from, she hired a lot of Jewish people, and she had a speech. A lot of people came, Jewish people, non-Jewish people. I forgot the name, two sisters. One was a nun.
Oh, the Cohen
sisters.
Whatever it is.
The art lectures.
When I was sitting with a lot of non-Jewish people, it was maybe one Jew or something, most of them was Christian people, who listened to your stories. And all of a sudden, a lot of people came in the basement, in the Hilton, downtown, and there was no room, And all of a sudden, my wife will take it, all of a sudden, they took me to a place at the Sudan. Then a man walked away and said, I found it. I said, well, I get scared, He found chairs in another room. He brought me maybe 10 or 15 chairs. Soon he found the chairs. Everybody started holding hands and shaking. A miracle happened. I said to John, to the priest, I said, John, this is a miracle? The chairs was in the other basement. The man by coincidence found us. He felt so fun. I said, this is not a, and they grabbed my hand, sitting with me, that's a shaking. So that's not a miracle. This is happening, it wasn't had a room. He believed it's a miracle. He said, John, I'm not going to convince you. To me, that's not a miracle. A miracle would be when it's just from the ceiling down. That would be a miracle. Then, since then, he never bothered with miracles. Let me rest in peace, he was a nice man. I was such an intelligent person. He told me this is a miracle. When some are fanatics. I'm not fanatic. I know what I am. I believe what I am. I'm not too much fool, but I do my best I can. Especially in my neighborhood. I'm very proud to be here.
Yeah.
It's a good neighborhood.
Yeah, and could I ask you one more question? After the war, when you needed to, or when every displaced person needed to get or wanted to get out of Germany, what was actually your citizenship? You didn't have papers.
No, I was stateless.
So were you stateless?
I was stateless.
Yeah.
I was stateless. But I got a Deutsche Führerschein, a driver's license. I had a sort of like a little passport, but I never went on the. I could take only offered me to be a German citizen. I could take the papers. I could have it because I was working for the government. They're going to give me this. I'm not stateless anymore. I could have a passport. To have a passport, you have to be a German or something. Be in Germany. But I never want to take a passport.
And so did you come to the United States under the Lithuanian quota?
No, I came in with the own visa.
But
my uncle, my father had a brother who was also in the concentration camp, a cousin. And two cousins. One of them died in the ghetto. But he came before. My cousin came here. One of the cousins, when he went into the army, was young, a little older, a young year older from me or something. He came before me. He got married. And then my uncle remarried because his wife got killed in Stuttgart. She was together with my mother, she didn't survive. Then he came here, remarried here. And then I was coming here, and my father's brother, the older one, was here. And for years, in 1918 or something, for the First World War, he was the oldest one. He didn't want to go to the army, ran away from the Russians, came to the United States. Then he somehow made papers, and I had a diploma as a cabinet maker and all this. And I sent the papers when my uncle, let him rest in peace, went to that place. The man said the talent what I can do. He gave me right away. This man from the store said he will take me for to refinish things. But I didn't. I worked 1 week and I said, that's not work for me. I can do better work, fixing something I didn't need it. But the man said I made the papers. You go wherever you go. You're a free man. But he helped me out to feel. But when I had the papers. Then I don't want to stay in Germany. I didn't want to stay in Germany with the baby, with the genius I can't sell. Then I decided to come to the United States, and I come legal with papers in here. But
and in Germany, did you have any connection or any contact to the Central Committee of Liberated Jews in Bavaria?
oh yeah.
So you did have.
I did a lot in fact for Jews. I went into the Jewish newspaper, and I wrote an article to Eisenhower. And I remembered when he was running for president, and I remembered when he put a hand on my head. There is a paper somewhere, I don't have it. And Sherman Adams, his assistant, sent a letter to me when he was running for president. They will do everything they can because I want my brothers to come to the United States. And he had TB, he didn't let in people when they're sick. When I said in this letter, murderers, Ukrainians, Poles, Russians, and the killers was working with the Germans, they could come to Germany, to the United States. And my brother suffered because he's now okay, he can come, but he's not able to come because he was sick. And somehow they changed the law, it looked like it, and made the papers for my brother, for my father, and then my mother came out with a lot of sweat and things. My mother went back to Lithuania, and my father used to write letters to the consulate, and he used to say, "So yes." In Russia, everything there, you know? You don't have to worry. If there are hospitals in Russia, my brother can come to Russia, they will cure him there. When my mother is there, they will the family together. I don't want to go to Russia. And my father, to sweat and all this, I don't know, to the joint, and they helped him making papers. My mother came out, then I made the papers, and maybe writing the letter to Eisenhower, he helped a little bit. They changed a little bit the law, they made it a little softer for the Jewish people. Not because I did it, maybe other people did the same thing. And my brother, and father, and mother came over here. But my brother was very sick in Germany, and he was liberated right after the war. They put him right away in an ambulance, take him away in a hospital. They found out that he's very sick, he had to be it, and they put him to Garting. And then they found out a kidney, because I saw with my own eyes when a German took over, he was carrying some soup, and he fell down, two men was going, one was taller from him, the other he was shorter, and he slipped the came with the soup and he spilled, und der Meister wand aber, ach du verfluchter Hund, meine Leute haben nichts zu fressen, the dog, my people don't have nothing to eat, and he gave me this pipe, for the carrying this, one in the back, and I was carrying the coals, that was not too far away. I ran over, I said, Itzki, was his name, and blood came out from the mouth. I thought he's dead, but then my father punched him, and the Meister, the Germans, they feel sorry. My father was a bad. The other one was feeling sorry about it, you know. And he thought, he opened up his eyes, he said, are you okay? He said, no, he couldn't talk, but he said, and since then he was going down. And if it wouldn't be the liberation, the death mass, or soon he made the death mass. But it would be a couple of days he wouldn't make it. But they grabbed him right away, the Americans, and took him right in the hospital. And from there they took him to Garting. And he was 6 years. And then they had TB in his leg. And then TB all over in the kidney. Then they got a kidney. He was a real mess. But he survived, he came over here, you know. But he didn't live too long. He was 45 years when he passed away. He was a young man, and a good-hearted man. He was so strong in the ghetto when we were in Lithuania. And if you don't believe it, he could take it this time with one finger. I couldn't even pick it up to dream. He was a strong young man, muscled and good-looking, very good-looking fellow. He was 1 year older than me. He was very strong, all this, of the Germans finished him up. And that's why also a reason I didn't want to stay in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
But he passed away. I left Germany before, because I left him in Germany with my brother and father, because he couldn't come. My mother was still Lithuanian. But when they came over here, it's all my best. When I think that I have a good wife, she understood the situation. Or she left her parents, but we were begging them to come. But your mother was not feeling well. Also, she lost 2 sons in the war. When they asked her, the council, they were so rude against the Jews. The council asked her, how many children she gets? She's a mother. She didn't see the children dying. She only heard. She said, she had 7 children. I can have 7 children, and we have 5 children. Where the other one? She said, I hope they are alive. They were killed in the... Maybe they were alive, who knows? But she knows what she's talking about. They were looking just for excuses not to let emigrate too many people from the house. But that's the way it was.
Now, you mentioned at the beginning, and I think we probably should wrap up fairly soon. At the beginning, you mentioned a place where you were liberated, and I had never heard of it.
Babatkirchen. Babatkirchen.
Could you spell this?
I don't know exactly the way. Maybe my wife doesn't know the spelling. The
Babat
way I hear it.
Kirchen, okay.
Babatkirchen is like a kirche.
Yeah, Kirchen, yeah.
Babat is the same thing. Babatkirchen. This is on the map, this is everywhere. It's on the way you go to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. You have to pass by Babatkirchen. Then you go other places, and then is Babatkirchen. It's a place where I was liberated there for the American Army.
Right.
And there was so many stories we put in the grave, we got from the grave with so white flags. When it was snowing, I said, half of the people but didn't make it. But there was a dead horse but going out to the highway to go to this little, what Kirch was a quarter of a mile, you could see it, you know. And then there was a dead horse, people were so hungry, they grabbed sticky pieces of meat from the dead horse, and it was crawling worms. And I could look at this, my father too, my brother too, we didn't touch it. But there were stories from them. It's unbelievable, you know, you can talk, there is, sometimes when I have questions, sometimes I don't remember, but somebody asks me a question, but I didn't think about it and I remember it, you know. But like I say again, I'm not a speaker and I'm not looking for publicity, and you know, it's not this case. It's just, it's important to me to talk about it because I have a few friends for the left also, they're not here anymore. And I have my cousin that in Bivell is here in Baltimore. He never talked to his children when he went through the street. Now he's opened up. Now he's talking a little bit.
Is his name Edward?
Edward Gruzin. You heard about him?
I just know that I know that he made a tape for the Shoah Foundation.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Lately he said, because I talked to him, his son is a very successful young man. He's working in hotels, and is a very nice guy. And I can't complain with my children, but he's very successful, the son. He got a daughter and a son. His wife is not feeling so well, but they're nice people, they're good-hearted. And the other cousin too. The other cousin was in Russia, was his family there, you know. And we all have our battle, but it's so important to talk about it, you know.
And we are so grateful that you are doing that with
No,
us.
I do it, and
Really
right now, really, I have a lot of albums and pictures that I like to put together. Some of my friends made already stories, and I'm not looking for publicity. I'm looking to leave it for my grandchildren, whatever it is. You see, they have a book. Some of my friends made books, and I have, in fact, a couple of friends made books and put my name in this book, as I was with them. And there's also one of them, Zalke Genkin, he put a book, Light One Candle. This is, he's very popular, so in all languages, all over the world. The book, but his book is a little bit, I talk exactly the way it was. Some people make a book, and they make a little bit, you know, balance a little bit, you know, they should run, grime right good. But I go, when I talk the way it is. And I'm not looking for fancy words or fancy explanation. I try to get fancy a little bit too, but I don't. I talk the way I see it, the way I hear it, and the way I talk. But it's very important to me that we should not forget. And that's why I have the highest respect for these young ladies here, and also for you, and also for the car, for the school. No, I mean it. This is wonderful. I think I met you then in the school one time. And I'm very proud of this because it's important to talk about. When I talking for the school, the rabbi invited me. I was here for bas mitzvah something by a neighbor of ours. And there was Rabbi Zweig. He's the dean from the Beis Yaakov. And he said to me, listen, you're a survivor. Would you come and talk for the children? And I was sure. I said, yeah, I talk for 500 people. You know, it's a little... But I was not saying, you know, I figured, what can you ask me? I'm not making up a story. And it was interesting that some people from the area, from the Owens, asked me questions, you know, all the time I was talking, like I'm talking. I want to ask about this, and what I see, what I went through. And really what I saw, and I can't even tell in the ghetto, and we have to take the Svorim, the Sidurim, the people that have taught us, taking ourselves, bringing it to a place, and putting, there was a big fire, and putting like, and the Germans were standing around and watching it, and people had tears, my father had to take a couple of Sidurim, a Chumash, whatever. And my own father was, it wasn't a burial, it was his, he made tefillin every day, he was not so firm. And because of the tefillin, maybe we are alive. We ran away, I didn't tell you this with the stores, we ran away from Lithuania, and the war started to Latvia, and then we went through with the partisans, with the pogroms, and we had a little horse. I have a story from the horse. Our horse was better than a dog. You know, I think you have the story.
Oh yeah, we have. You can tell. Unfortunately, I have to go because I have a shiva in 15 minutes.
Oh no,
so
you go here.
Yeah, I mean it's somebody's. Well, it's a long story. Her mother was older. It's not.
Yeah, this can
But
happen.
it's like close
I
to you.
really
So.
appreciate it. Still filming, but you finished.
Still filming. Should I
then
turn?
I really thank you for interviewing me. I hope I get all the copies.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you for asking me the questions.
Oh,
And I thank you from my whole heart. I mean it.
thank you. We thank you.
Thank you so much.
This
Thank
is
you
very
very,
important,
very
not
much.
to forget. Maybe not now is important, but maybe years from now.
It's always
I hope
important.
to be alive in God's hand. But nobody live forever. But in years from come, this is a record. And this record shouldn't be forgotten because a lot of people put it onto the table. A lot of people, you can hear it now on television, sometimes they deny it. Talk to the Arabs. He was not even a Holocaust.
Well, this is all going to be on the Goucher archive, all the interviews, everything's going to be accessible once you give your
Goucher
permission.
College is a very nice place.
That's
I
what
mean
we're all doing it for the
No,
Goucher
I
archive.
was a few times there, and not only for interviews or something, but I really enjoyed it. I realized it's a good school. It's Amos, sort of like, you feel like you're in
Yeah,
a family.
it is.
It's a very good school.
And at one point, once you saw through your photos, it would be really great if you could show us some of the photos.
Oh, he
so
did?
we could-
He actually
Yeah,
showed
I have a
us.
lot of.
Oh,
I have a-
okay, you
but
did. Okay.
I
We
will
took
be
some pictures of them.
Yeah.
Um,
In fact, I have a right now photo. I was going to send my friend to Germany because he got a hotel there. He's very well. I have the pictures. I have one of the pictures. The boy got killed in the tank. I have it. I will show you when we go up. I have it in the kitchen, I think. I have this. I was going to send it to him. I was going to Munich. I was taking all the pictures. Some of them maybe not alive anymore, but I was going to bring it to him, but I didn't go. Then I'm going to mail it to him. I was going to mail it today or tomorrow.
But I'm going to Germany on June 15th. If
Yeah,
you
maybe you should visit our family, and then I will give you the others. It will be very.
and
very
I could take pictures with me if you like. I could send them from there.
No, these pictures. No, these pictures I really
Oh,
can't
okay.
fit here. But the pictures, no, we have pictures from each other very often. But I will be delighted if you need some pictures. I will can give her a album. but I have a friend, a good friend in Munich. He's a very wealthy guy. Always wants to make business. Now he got a big hotel. Most of the Israelis coming to him, and I have to go. I was to go to my sister-in-law to stay with them. But now he insisted I have to want to give me the penthouse and all that. I will show you the picture. I have it in here. for him. He's very well off. We got 2 hotels in Israel. And he's a very wealthy guy. When he got it, the sisters are running the hotels. He got one in Ramat Gan, and I think one in Tel Aviv. He got one in Munich, a big one.
Huh.
Yeah, they got. It's okay.
Great.
But money is not everything. You have to be happy inside.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
true.
that's it.
Well, Israel, thank you so
Thank you
much
so
again.
much.
Thank you.
Really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for your
Sure.